What's up everybody, it's Man of Low Moral Fiber here. My name's Luke, and in this video I'll be killing Jackenstien at overpowered level 8 using Melee Zer0. Jackenstien is Nakayama's secret weapon in the third DLC, Sir Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt, and this is actually the boss of the campaign quest from that DLC. This boss has two capacitors on his back, or kind of on the top of his shoulders there, and those particular capacitors are the only parts of him that can be damaged during the first couple stages of this fight. So what I'm going to try to do is get an execute up to one of those barrels there. However, it is kind of difficult because they are rather high on his back, and sometimes his extra arms, because he obviously has 4 arms, kind of like Machamp, I guess. This boss always kind of reminds me of like a really overgrown Machamp. I guess that's because I'm kind of a Pokemon nerd as well. Anywho, trying to get up there and kill those two capacitors. When I do get damaged, I use the Herald, swapping real quickly to the Grog Nozzle to go ahead and recover my health. Jackenstien's attacks aren't too frequent, and you should be able to recover your health fairly easily. So there I was able to go ahead and get the execute on the first capacitor there. Once you do that, he will jump up to a second level, kind of behind a shield up there, and several loaders will jump down. I've noticed that these loaders are only 3 types of loaders, I believe, and that is gun loaders, ion loaders, and exploders. The ratio that these come in, though, is kind of random. I've noticed that sometimes I get a lot of exploders, or one time I got like primarily gun loaders. This was about my 4th time trying this. I had given up once because it was just taking too long, and I knew it wouldn't have been a watchable video because I spent like 10 minutes just trying to get past the second stage. And the other 2 times I actually went down, and I didn't really want to go down during this fight, so I went ahead and did it until I could go through the whole fight without ever entering fight for my life. Now, if you want, you can leave one of these loaders alive in case you need a second wind opportunity. However, I like to kill the loaders for the most part. I don't leave any of them alive, really, unless Jackenstien is up on me, and I think I can go ahead and get an execute on it. But I recommend killing all those guys. You don't really need a second wind opportunity because the loaders are much more likely to take you down than Jackenstien is by himself, because his attacks are fairly infrequent. So now I am going to have to jump up there and get to his second barrel, or capacitor, again, to push him into the third stage. Once the third stage is activated, he will go ahead and summon a few more loaders, and then eventually come back down and start attacking you via a critical hit point on his chest that shoots out shock orbs. And once you get him into that with Melee Zer0, it's usually not too hard to go ahead and finish him off. The hard part is actually getting up to his barrels on the back. Might seem like it'd be kind of easy to slide up there with a flying execute, but it's a lot harder than it looks. Jackenstien moves quite a bit. He's got quite a bit of movement speed. He can backpedal faster than you can execute, and his auxiliary arms definitely get in the way quite a bit. Plus his butt will actually stop your execute, or his back will stop your execute, and you won't fly all the way up to the top in order to get a melee hit on that barrel, which is kind of aggravating. Got in a little bit of a sticky situation there. I had to waste my execute to survive. However, I might have missed with that execute anyway. So now we have our deception back again, and we're going to go ahead and try to bust that capacitor. Unfortunately, it is really high up there. His arm got in the way there, and so I'm going to need another try at this. I know this isn't a perfect run or anything. It's not a speed run by any means. I'm sure there are definitely a lot of faster ones out there. However, I wanted to go ahead and kill him at overpower level 8. I noticed that this is an enemy that most people seem to despise quite a bit, because I think he reflects bullets when they are non-exploding rounds like this Herald is, or perhaps when you don't have Boar. So he might be a little bit tougher for non-Zer0 characters. However, for Zer0, he's not that bad. You just have to be patient and really work on attacking that capacitor. I don't do a very good job at it, obviously. It's taken me multiple attempts here. But eventually I will go ahead and get lucky and have a solid connect with my execute. Unfortunately, sometimes the knockback he has will send you flying when it looks like you were right on track to go ahead and get that capacitor killed, but you'll just have to be patient. You could probably get really good at this, or have a run where you get some cooperation from Jackenstien, but most of the time it's going to be difficult to hit that capacitor. I was actually able to hit that capacitor coming from the frontward angle there, which was kind of different. Usually I try to get at it from a back angle, but maybe that's a little strategy that might help you out, and you'll find it a little bit easier to go ahead and attack his capacitors from the front. Now I'm going to kill these loaders from a distance with my Pimpernels so that they don't get too close or too damaging to me. Finish these off now with a Minimus Fall Chain using the Thumper, Rapier, and Grog Nozzle in combination with my Death Mark. When you have Void damage active, the Death Marks do a lot of damage, the Kunai will, and that's pretty cool. Definitely avoid Jackenstien's shock shower, I guess you'd call it, the little rain of shock orbs there, because those will kill you fairly easily. Definitely something to watch out for there. So there's one ion loader back there. I'd like to kill it because I don't really want to have to deal with it and Jackenstien, because I'm just trying to get a good melee execute on his chest now. He's going to open his chest up again to shoot me with those shock orbs very shortly. Again, just using the Herald swap method to recover my health. And shoot some rocks out of the air. So here I noticed that he's going into this shock mode. I threw some kunai, executed up to him. Didn't do a ton of damage, but then I did another melee strike with my Grog Nozzle, and that actually finished him off. So I do thank you guys very much for watching. Obviously, I got a yellow jacket from this kill. If you haven't yet, please take the time to subscribe. I'd appreciate that. Go ahead and show you my skill build now. And I hope to catch you next time. Bye, guys.